Can you imagine feeling a ghostly touch while alone in a room? Well, I lived this. Ever felt a chill run down your spine when you're alone? The kind that makes you question if you're truly by yourself? That's what happened to me in an old house, on a day that started like any other. I was drawn to the antique piano that was as much a part of the house as the wooden floorboards and the high ceilings. It had belonged to the previous owners, a family with a tragic past. Their young daughter, a budding pianist, had passed away too soon. As my fingers danced over the keys, the house seemed to come alive with the melody. But then, I felt it. A cold, clammy touch clasping my legs. It was as if icy fingers were wrapped around me, holding me in place. The room was empty, but I wasn't alone. The piano keys continued to echo their tune, but it felt distant now, drowned by the pounding of my heart. I tried to shake off the feeling, to convince myself it was just my imagination. But the cold touch remained, a chilling reminder of an unseen presence. I found out later that I wasn't the first to experience this. The previous family had shared tales of their daughter's lingering spirit, believed to still be attached to her beloved piano. Stories of a ghostly presence that could be felt, especially when the piano was played. That day I felt the cold, ghostly touch of the past, and I can never forget it. I was playing her piano in her house, and maybe, just maybe, she wanted to play too. The chilling sensation of her touch, the fear that gripped me, and the realization that I wasn't alone. They're etched in my memory, a haunting reminder of the day I played the haunted piano. Ever heard a voice where none should exist? I have. And it was not just any voice. It was a voice that echoed within the confined space of an ambulance, a place I had associated with life, and ironically, death. As an emergency medical technician, my job was to save lives. But this encounter was unlike any other. It was a call for help from an entity I couldn't see. It started as a routine night shift. The vehicle, as always, was ready to race against time. Little did I know, it was also ready to race against the supernatural. It all began with a strange whisper, a muffled sound that seemed to originate from nowhere and everywhere at the same time. It was as if the ambulance was trying to communicate to me, through the rustle of its metallic body and the humming of its engine. As time passed, the whispers grew louder, more distinct. Words started to form from the hushed sounds. The voice was raspy, almost suffocated, and it echoed within the ambulance. It was uttering something I could barely make out. "Help me!" it gasped in between what sounded like desperate breaths. The confusion hit me first. I couldn't fathom how or why I was hearing this voice. But as reality sunk in, so did the fear. I was alone in an ambulance, hearing a disembodied voice pleading for help. The irony was not lost on me. Here I was, a lifesaver by profession, incapable of helping an entity that was beyond life. The rest of the night was a blur. I was too rattled to focus on anything else. The voice, the whispers, the plea for help, they all seemed to linger in the air, long after the shift was over. The echoes of those voices still haunt me. Even now, as I recall the incident, the fear returns. The memory of that night, the voice, and the haunted ambulance remains as vivid as ever. It serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the line between life and death is not as clear as we'd like to believe, and sometimes the calls for help we receive may come from places we least expect. Who says all ghosts are scary? Meet Billy. In a quiet neighborhood, nestled between two seemingly ordinary homes, a unique tale unfolded. It was a tale of an unseen resident, a playful poltergeist known as Billy. Now, Billy wasn't your typical spooky specter. He had a knack for mischief, a love for the unusual, and a penchant for moving things around. The two neighboring households, each unaware of the other's spectral encounters, would wake up to find their possessions in the most unexpected places. A coffee mug nestled in a shoe, a book perched on top of a fridge, or even a sofa cushion resting in the bathtub. It was as if an invisible prankster had roamed their homes in the night, rearranging their belongings with glee. The families were baffled, yet there was a certain charm to these harmless antics. It was almost amusing, the lengths to which Billy would go to stir up a bit of fun. It was as though he was trying to make his presence known, to interact with the living in his own playful, peculiar way. Billy's antics became a part of their daily lives, an oddity they came to accept. They would often find themselves chuckling at the absurdity of it all, at the sight of their toothbrushes hanging from the chandeliers, or their slippers tucked away in the oven. It was a strange reality, cohabiting with a playful poltergeist, but it was their reality nonetheless. Billy, wherever you are, keep that spirit alive. Have you ever felt fear creep up your spine in your own home? I did. Living in an apartment with a broken attic board was the start of a series of terrifying experiences that still haunt me to this day. The attic, it was always the attic, with its ominous gaping hole, like a dark abyss lurking above. Each night, as the sun would set, the eerie symphony would begin. The dragging sounds, like something heavy being moved across the wooden attic floor. It was a slow, deliberate sound, echoing through the silence of the night. Then the whispers would start, soft, hushed voices that seemed to float down from the attic, a chilling chorus of indiscernible words. The fear was paralyzing. Each creak, each whisper was a chilling reminder that I was not alone. The apartment, once a sanctuary, had turned into a chilling stage for these nightly hauntings. And then, the unthinkable happened. My pet bird, a cheerful parakeet named Sunny, disappeared. One morning, I woke up to find his cage empty. I searched everywhere but found no trace of him. His cheerful chirping, which once filled the apartment with life, was replaced by the unsettling silence. Despite the fear, I stayed, compelled by a morbid curiosity and a desperate hope that Sunny would return. But he never did. The whispers continued, the fear persisted, and the hole in the attic remained, a constant reminder of the chilling presence that had taken over my apartment. The whispers of that attic still send shivers down my spine, and even now, as I recount this tale, I can't help but look up, half expecting to see that broken attic board and hear the soft, chilling whispers floating down from above.